second episode of this mini-series for the Leo's Den. My name's Naya, and my fun fact is that if I become rich, I would love to have a sea turtle in my house.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name's Lo and people call me Lo. My fun fact is I recently chipped this tooth on a Pellegrino bottle, and but now I've stopped biting my nails, so good and bad. Anyway, as you know, we're two Leos who just love to hear themselves talk.
And today we're going to chat with you about what our reaction will be depending on the outcome of the Olympic selections. So my first question for you, Lo, is have you even thought about both sides? Have you thought about if you will make it and how you will react, or if you don't, or have you solely been focused on let me keep the good energy and let me focus on if I make it?
I think that what makes good players is never getting complacent in it, and so I think I've made every tour, made everything, but I've never ever thought, okay, I'm gonna make it, that's it, and I stopped working. So I think having that little bit of stress, having that little bit of uncertainty has really helped me. I mean, at times I have felt confident, there's no doubt, but I'm so afraid to get too comfortable. So I've been feeling pretty good, but which has then allowed me to just really focus on my play, I guess, as well, because I don't feel like I'm fully, I guess, competing. In some of our teammates and stuff, it's there's a position and there's so many people competing for that one position.
Yeah.
Whereas something that I think is kind of cool about me is I've been playing in the forwards, but then I also play in the center, and I can play wing. So that's cool, and that gives me comfort knowing that, okay, he might not need a forward, but he might need a center.
Yeah.
What about you?
Kind of the same. Obviously, it's been different with the injury. Just wanting to feel like, oh, the hard work that I did before this time was enough, but then also knowing maybe somebody did a lot more to deserve that spot, and it's safer to bring somebody who's fully ready to go than somebody who is a great player but may not be able to go 100%. So I've just been kind of going back and forth between that of trying to have confidence that, okay, you're gonna be fine, you did enough, you worked really hard in these past couple of years to earn your spot, but also knowing not to feel entitled to it, which is something I've dealt with in the past, is working hard and feeling because I did that work, I'm supposed to get the good benefits of it, and that's not always how the world plays out.
Yeah.
So I've definitely looked into, okay, if I make it, I'm gonna be so happy, and I'm really gonna keep focusing on getting back 100% so that me getting selected will be worth it for you guys and for the coach.
Yeah.
And then if I don't, it's being in that emotion for a little while because I know I will be so upset.
Yeah.
But then kind of prepping myself for it, where it's okay, if you don't make it, then have a day of being sad, and then from then on, you still want to focus on getting back 100% for the next season. You still want to keep a good attitude for your teammates and cheer them on just as hard as you would if you were there. So just trying to prep myself for both sides, doing a lot of talking with Peter about if I make it, I'm going to be so happy, but if I'm not, I'm happy for the girls that are going, and I'll make sure to keep a positive attitude for you guys.
Which I think is so interesting, because when people see you, they're like, Naya's gonna make it anyway.
And that's hard.
You could ask all of the people who follow American rugby, Naya's gonna make it.
Yeah.
We know this. But I was talking to you a couple weeks ago, and you were like, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I was like, oh shit, anything could happen.
Yeah.
To me, you'll make it, but with this injury, it's been tough, because one thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to put out the best team possible.
100%.
We're not trying to just put out, well, she's been here a while, so we'll put her on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool. Naya is one of the key members of the team, but even she's if I'm not 100%, why would they take me?
Mm-hmm.
You understood that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that was the hard thing of trying to have that conversation with certain people of oh God, if I don't make it, and they're always just no, you're gonna make it. You're obviously gonna make it, and not being able to express there is another side to it.
Yeah.
It could go differently, and me just wanting to be able to talk that out, plan that out, so that I'm prepared versus only being solely focused on, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it. Everybody says I'm gonna make it. I'm just gonna make it, and then ending up getting into a position where I don't, and I'm just devastated and don't know how to react at all. So I always try to play the devil's advocate with any selection, no matter how good I get. And I've learned that over time, life is very unpredictable, and you can do everything right, and it just doesn't play out how it was quote unquote supposed to play. So you just mentally have to prepare yourself for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
It has been interesting to see, like, it's not the tensions, but there are girls who are competing for this one spot, and it's like they're neck and neck. And I mean, I think if you ask a lot of us, we could name a team, but then we have like two who would be like just interchangeable, because we have some of the best fly halves and best nines, but we have a good amount of them who are competing for a spot. So that is super tough.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that, because like you said, with both of us, we have options when it comes to where can he play us.
Yeah.
So it's like, as you said, if you don't need us here, you could use us here. Whereas some players, that role is strictly what they do, and they have multiple people in that role. So it's like a completely different situation from what we are dealing with.
And also it's tough for your role because, well, so you're a wing, but we have a lot of fast wings. We have, you know, Ari, Nia, Jazz, who are just, I mean, Ari's one of the fastest people I swear in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
So that is tough because you're coming from an ankle injury, so you want to be fast, but you're competing against all these other girls who are also very fast. So I think what do you do, I guess, when you know that you have so many girls who are like competing for that wing spot? How do you like keep up, or how do you not like get in your head about that?
It's just like adding tools to my toolbox, so that when he looks at me versus anybody else in my position, it's like, yes, that girl is super fast. Yes, that girl is a great tackler, but Naya is super fast and a great tackler, and she talks, and she does this, and she does that. Trying to add as many things to my toolbox as I can, versus just being content with being fast. Because when I came in, it was like, oh, I'm fast, that's good enough. And I quickly learned, no, it's not.
Because you're not the fastest right now.
No way.
You're not the fastest, but like, I think that's just it, is that Naya is a great defender, which a lot of our fast people are like learning to be. And so you're a great defender. Naya will also just talk to you constantly on the field. So like, she's not the fastest, so that's why you've had to work. So how are you dealing with selections with your position where you have a Lev coming back? In my eyes, the best player in women's rugby across any team. Like, what pressure is that, knowing that you guys are competing for the same spot, as well as Kirsch, who most of the time will play center, and y'all all have very similar play in terms of being able to run hard with the ball and score there as if you were a wing versus having to be on the wing? How is that, knowing she was coming in and she was like getting back in it? Honestly, weirdly enough, I don't feel that much competition for it. And I think it comes back to that it's whoever's the best in that position at the time. So right now, maybe it is me. But if it turns out to be a Lev, I'm like, well, then it's going to be Lev. But I think what's great is then I'm like, all right, well, a center, I think, is like one of your better positions. You know, one of your better players is going to be there. So if that's not where you need me, but I think that I can rival and play with some of the props, you know? So that's what I think keeps me going, is that I'm not just a center. It's that I can go into the props as well, because I mean, it can get into your head. I mean, Lev and Kirsch are amazing players, and it's hard to go up against them, because I like a lot of times I think we're all very similar players, but a lot of times I think they're a time better than me. So that's what's been keeping me going. And then I think just I like to know that I can sub in for you. That I want to be good, but it's not all that I am. So.
And if you watch Lo, she can play prop, she can play center, she can play wing.
I do a little wing.
She does a little bit
I'm coming for you, scrum half.
And she has a great pass, so it's like, that's an all-around player.
But like that wasn't me. As like you came in as this wing. I just came in as this girl who got the ball and then would just run at people. So I mean, I just think you can't stay in that way. You have, if you want to stay in this team, you have to add something to your toolbox, because speed is only going to take you so far, power is only going to take you so far. So I mean, I think I am. Spiritually, I am a center, but I like to play wherever. If I'm on the field, play me at wherever. I'll be a wing, I'll be your hooker, whatever you need.
And knowing in sevens, you can end up anywhere. And I think that's probably the best advice I would give for anybody who's looking to try out for the professional sevens rugby team, is like to have multiple tools in your toolbox and to be able to use those tools effectively and with good impact. That'll make you stand out from just being just as fast as us, or just as big as us, or just as loud as us. Having multiple of those skills will just make you shine a lot brighter than everybody else around you. So
now, what are you going to be like when, so say some of your good friends aren't on the list? I think it's been great is we've created a team where we're not individual. I know that when I look at that list, I'm not going to just be like looking at my name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be like really seeing what team we've created and who's not on it. And I know that we've been training together for like 3 years now. So as we've become a team, we've become a family. Like, to not see some of those girls on the list, I think it will be tough. And I think that's special, that we will be sad to see some of the girls go and not be on the team.
Yeah. I think for me, I've made it important to myself to be really honest with people when I have those conversations, because I know a lot of us, probably with our closest friends on the team, are like, who do you think's going to be in it? Do you think I'm going to be in it? Do you think you'll make it? So with me and my close friends, it's like we really have honest conversations about it of, okay, well, what's your top 12? Oh, this is my top 12, but it doesn't include you because of this reason. Or this is my top 12 and it includes you because of this reason. Or this is my top 16 and this is why I would have you. Like, having those real conversations versus just feeding your teammates bullshit, if that makes sense to you. Like, I would rather be completely honest with everyone I'm talking to about this type of thing, and I would want them to do the same for me, which is why having those conversations about both sides of the outcome was really important for me, because I wanted to hear what people thought.
Yeah. And
I remember in one of our Challenge Networks groups, one of my questions to the girls were, if I got selected and I wasn't full like go or playing in the scrimmages, and how would you guys feel? Would you feel like, dang, she should have had to play, or like she did a lot coming in, but she wasn't here for that specific moment, that specific amount of time, so we don't think that they deserve it. And I really wanted to know, because I didn't want to get selected to a team and not really have my teammates think I deserve to be there.
Yeah, that's a scary thought to have, uncomfortable thought.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're just waiting for that list to come out, and then we'll see. And I think it comes out June 17th, so you'll probably see a post on Instagram. Come on, we're gonna be blowing up every spot. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Bye.